Hey, it's me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Hey, check out my new tag team, baby, Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Well, you know what, I would, but you already did it.
It's Monty and the Pharaoh.
The Monty and Pharaoh Show.
Monty and Pharaoh, bro.
Monty and the Pharaoh. The Monty and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famer, that rocker, Marty Jannetty, MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
It's Monty and the Pharaoh.
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 And Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monty and the Pharaoh?
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're going to get it, right here.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Duh.
I'm having a wonderful time with Monty and the Pharaoh, and I'm going to put him in a crossface, and he's going to go down right now. Yeah.
Hey! Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare! And you're watching the #1 show on Long Island with Monty and the Pharaoh.
You're f***ing out of line. I can't believe you just asked me that.
I'm getting out of here.
Really? Hey, listen.
I'm going.
If you want to be, you got to take care of him first.
No.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, seen only here out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. We are honored to have the legend, Mr. Mark the Hammer Coleman. Can we call you the godfather of UFC, sir?
Just don't call me the grandfather.
Yeah.
I
Damn
get
straight.
that all the time now.
By the way, I am digging the beard.
Yeah.
I am digging it.
Yeah.
It looks good. It
I
looks
like
good.
that, man.
Yeah.
It
I'm
looks
just-
good.
And the shades, by the way.
Yeah.
The shades!
Well represented.
Sage, Shays, and a cheap beer.
You got into this game at the age of 31.
Yeah.
I have to, while your timing historically is perfect, you are the first UFC champion. Your timing is perfect.
Perfect timing.
Did you ever wonder about, what it would have been like to have been on that level in your 20s doing this? Because to me, it's like, man, I really wonder what it would have been like to have you doing that in a UFC level, like, during your 20s. How does it get started with MMA for you?
I just, I was 31, but I was still in my prime.
Absolutely.
I was still a world-class wrestler.
Absolutely.
Almost made the I made 92 Olympic team.
Right.
96, I beat Kurt Angle in 1995. I
Hello.
beat Kurt Angle. And he was the world champion that year.
Hello.
I came out of retirement because my club told me, you got to wrestle, Coleman, or we ain't going to send you your check anymore. So I showed up at the Sunkist Open. I hadn't wrestled in like a year and a half. Kurt Angle was kind of taking over the weight class. Mark Kerr and Kurt Angle were battling out after I left. I was in my prime, and I blew it. I wasted those years. But, yeah, I went out there, and I beat Kurt Angle without even hardly any training at all. And then, but what am I going to do, man? What am I going to do? I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? There ain't no money in amateur wrestling, none. And then, sure enough, I caught the first UFC, and I was in shock, man. I couldn't believe it. I thought it had to be fake. I thought there's no way this can be a real sport. And if it is, why in the am I allowed to cuss?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why in the did they wait so long to do this, man? It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but something ain't right here.
Right.
Watch the second one. And I was just licking my chops, man, saying, this is me, this is my money, this is what I was born to do. I wish it was here when I was a 5-year-old kid. I'd have been training MMA for sure.
5 years old.
Hey, 5 years old, I already knew what 5 years old, I already knew what the hell I wanted to do.
There you go.
I mean, I knew I wanted to be in the NFL. I wanted to be in the major leagues in baseball, and I wanted to be an Olympic champion. I wanted it all. I did not like to lose. I was not a good loser, but whenever I did lose, I just told myself, okay, I'm gonna get that back.
So it's funny you bring that up. It's almost like you're reading the script. So tell me about growing up. Tell me about your parents. Like, tell me what made the Hammer.
I got the best parents in the world. They never, I mean, I can't say never, but it seems like they never missed one of my wrestling matches or one of my football games or one of my damn baseball games. Never. I mean, I'm over in Turkey in the World Championships, and we're poor. We're poor. We don't have a lot of money. I look up in the stands and like, I didn't even know they were coming. How'd they get to Turkey? You know what I mean? How'd my mom and dad get there? And the Olympics, they made it to the Olympics. Got a little help. Some people did some fundraising, so my whole family was at the Olympics. They never missed a thing. And I don't know, man. I just knew I didn't like losing at nothing. I was a super shy little kid, and I knew I didn't like getting nobody. I didn't like bigger, older kids being able to bully me or pick on me. And I was going to get big enough and strong enough to whoop all the and that's what I did, man. That's what I did. If there would have been MMA, I'd have been in it for sure. But I wanted to play in the major leagues, in the NFL, whatever. But even though there wasn't a sport, I still wanted to be the toughest man in the world.
The very first champion in UFC heavyweight history is you. You defeat Dan Severn, if I'm not mistaken, by submission.
One hell of a scarf neck choke, boy.
Ow. Did you see that, by the way?
Yes,
Ow.
I did.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what, old Severn fought that pretty damn good, because I was doing that on practice to people, and it didn't take me more than like 2 seconds. Lock it up, crank it, and they were tapping out. Old Severn, he fought it for like a good, almost a minute, and I was damn near ready to let it go, because I knew if I didn't get this, my arms were going to be trash. But then finally, old nice guy Dan Severn, I know it's on there pretty good. I can't believe he ain't tapping. You know what I mean? He's just tough dude, man.
Already.
Tough dude. I can't believe it. But he reached up and started poking me in the eyes. And when you're desperate, man, you do anything.
Sure.
He's a nice guy, but hey, man, there was no way out. He was done. And after he poked me in the eye and Big John slapped his hand off or whatever, he called it a day. And he told me, he said, I wasn't choked out, Coleman. He said, I just thought I thought my neck was going to get separated from my body. Because I was fucking strong, man. I was so strong that night. I could have beat anybody that night, I think.
There you go. There you
I
go.
have to think that way.
Look, I'm sure they're all tough. Every one of them that you probably stepped in the ring with, they're all tough guys, man. You can't be a UFC.
Not everyone.
Not everyone? Okay.
No,
I
had a couple easy ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Where would you rank Severn? Like, if you had to.
He's up there, man. He's
top
up there. But,
penthouse, basically, tough?
You know, I fought a lot better. I fought like, I've fought over 10 world champions.
Okay.
Fedor twice, Shogun Rua, Randy Couture, Severn, Fry, Krokop. And these are some killers. Igor Volchanchin. But Severn, he didn't like to train.
Really?
I mean, he was 38 years old.
Okay.
So he was a little bit past his prime by then, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And he really wasn't a big fan of training that hard. He'll tell you himself. He had over 100 wins. I mean, pretty amazing what he did.
Yeah.
But he said, I get my training.
Do you think he underestimated you that night, or he just...
No, he just, I think he did train for me.
Okay.
He likes to exaggerate, but I think he did train for me that night. He just didn't That's it, man. I
Just didn't happen.
I was the better man.
There you go.
I was world class, and he's the only guy that I was out there, no gloves on. Everybody thought we were buddies. Everybody thought me and Sam were good buddies. We respected each other. We're both wrestlers, this and that, but good buddies is out the door once that cage locked. And well, it was only one fight that night. When you got 3 fights, you wear the gloves because you got to protect your hands. But one fight with Severn, I didn't wear no gloves, and everybody was saying, "Oh, they're good buddies, and they're not going to hit each other." Oh, hell no, man! I would have smashed the hell out of him if that's what it took. But he just gave me, whatever. The side choke was there, and I've been killing it. Back in warm-ups, I've been killing it, and there it was, and he was just he was tough, but like I said, he was 38, 39, and we're good friends. Me and Severn are real good friends. A lot of respect for each other. I don't think he put in, he didn't train like I did. I mean, he didn't train as hard as I did, and whatever.
Did you realize at the time, becoming the first UFC heavyweight champion, did you realize at the time what this was going to turn into? This has turned into, that company is the WWE equivalent to fighting, to cage fighting. I mean, did you realize, or did it take some years before you realized, wait a minute, I'm the first one?
No, I knew I needed that first one. I wanted that first one so bad. I knew at some point that was, you don't forget the first. But and then we as you know, we were in New York, and they shut us down. We loaded up the planes. They spent I don't know how much money, flew us all down to Alabama, and I was just like, God, I just need this fight to happen because I was so ready.
Right.
And I just needed to be the first. I knew how important it was.
Right.
To me, it was going to be important first, and can't say I knew it was going to get this big, but my personal thought was it's the greatest sport in the world. It should get this big, and it's going to keep getting bigger because it's worldwide. It's like soccer. Everybody can fight. American football is American football. They're huge, but these fighters are coming from wherever. I remember walking out after my first UFC 10. I won the tournament. I remember walking out just kind of like in a dream saying, wow. First thing I said is, them Russians are coming, man. That's what I was thinking because
the Russians are coming.
The Russians are coming because I'm telling you, they was bad in wrestling, man. They were so bad in wrestling, and that's what I was saying. Oh man, the Russians are coming. I got to get some wins in before they come.
They were a problem in Rocky IV, so we kind of knew. We knew
there was going to be a problem. Rocky.
Are
you still in contact with Tank Abbott and Don Fry?
Well, yeah, I'd stay in touch with. I mean, not like I'm calling them up once a week and just chat for an hour, but no, we all just.
How was that call? You call up? Hey man, you remember when I beat your back 3 years ago? You still feel all right?
Hey, Fry. I mean, he literally. He's the toughest man I ever fought. Not the best.
He's awesome.
Not the best.
He's awesome.
But I almost had to kill him.
I believe it.
No, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I couldn't believe they wouldn't stop his fight, man.
I believe it.
But he was. But no, he
wasn't he willing to come out of the stands to fight you or something like that? I mean, what's the story with that?
Well, he was not happy. He was an angry man, and he did not like Mark Coleman just because I beat him. Right. If I'd see him at a small show and what's up, Don? He'd be like, yeah. But then finally, like about 3-4 years after it happened, he came up to me and he's like, oh, man, puts his hand out. He goes, hell, I can't hate you, Coleman. We're too fucking much alike. I said, yeah, we're a lot alike, Don. But
the light bulb went off.
He was so angry. He watched that fight every day for a couple years, and he says it just took years off his life.
Wow. Well, let me ask you, when Dan was in studio, Dan said he didn't remember his wins. He just remembered his losses. Right. Are you the same way?
I remember them both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, in my amateur wrestling days, I can remember my losses a lot. A lot of my losses, I can remember those in detail.
More so. Okay.
But fighting, man, you got to remember the wins too. You know, I mean, it's true. I mean, well, Dan's got 120 wins. How the f*** you gonna remember all that?
You look like you have a great relationship with your daughters. Can you tell me about your daughters at all? When I go on social media, it looks like what a nice relationship you have with your family.
Three daughters, 21, 23, seniors in college, about to graduate, never been in trouble. Just, you know, the best, my life. But I got a 6-year-old from another woman, and it's kind of hard because not everybody's getting along. I mean, I'm trying to get along, but sometimes other people make it impossible to work it out. But I'm as close with my oldest 2 daughters as I've ever been. I mean, I'm sure she'll be calling me tonight. We talk every day. I see each other almost, you know, as much as we can. But my 6-year-old's she's a little sweetheart, a little beauty, and they're all talented.
How hard was it being on the road back when they were little?
Man, I couldn't stand leaving, man. I couldn't, and I didn't leave that much. I trained at home. Right. I should have been. If I could do it over again, I'd just go.
Right.
But I didn't trust anybody with my kids, so I didn't really have too many training camps. I mean, I had my own training camps. I was my own coach in Columbus, Ohio State Wrestling Room, and I made it work. But it could have been a lot better. I could have been a lot better, but I did pretty good. I did okay. So.
There you go.
Look at that, baby.
UFC 10, man, I tell you what, I couldn't believe it. I just beat 3 dudes one night. I almost had to kill the guy in the finals. And there ain't no cops coming. I'm not in no trouble. They gave me this big old belt. They gave me a 60 grand check, and the fans are loving me. I'm like, this is the coolest sport ever. It's the greatest. I just, you know, but it's the greatest. But I just wish it would have started, like you said. I wish it would have started 20 years earlier.
Now, was Dana White in charge at that time when you first started?
No, Bob Meyerowitz.
Okay.
He got the. I mean, he had to. I mean, they had problems, man. We had struggles. Shows got canceled. John McCain, human cockfighting. They almost went under. I mean, they almost threw in the towel. But if that UFC, if we didn't get that, when I won the heavyweight championship, UFC 12, we had to fly from New York to Alabama. You know, we didn't get in till, 4 or 5 in the morning. Fight the next day. If that show didn't happen, it might have been all she wrote, man.
Right.
So they had to spend a lot of money. Bob Meyerowitz spent a lot of money getting this going.
So let me ask you this: in your prime, Lesnar in his prime,
yeah,
could you beat Lesnar?
Ooh.
I think so. What the hell? Yeah.
There you go. Ground and pound them.
Ground and pound Lesnar.
Get down, Brock. Boom, 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 boom. It's a ding, ding. Why not?
I'm not saying it'd been easy, but that's a bad dude. But of course I'm going to bet on myself in my freaking prime.
Right.
I mean,
just out of curiosity, because I am curious about stuff. Where do you put Brock? I've had arguments with UFC fans that say Brock Lesnar doesn't deserve any credit for what he did with UFC or his impact on UFC or his history or what. What do you think about? What is your opinion on Brock Lesnar's UFC
people
career?
People are jealous or something. That man brought all kinds of attention to the damn sport.
Right.
That's simple. big, giant, monster, bad, savage killer.
Preach. Yeah.
But sometimes he got a little tired.
There you go.
Well,
There you go.
No, but he was dangerous, man. He was so strong, so big, so powerful. His hands were like, makes that thing look like a baby's hand. His hands were the biggest hands I've ever seen, man. Huge. You get hit with that. But he did pretty good, but he didn't have enough time to dedicate to it. He was doing the pro wrestling thing, so he had to do a little bit of everything. But if he would have committed to MMA, who knows how far he could have went. But he did fine, man. He did great.
Is Fry the toughest man you've ever been in the ring
Well,
with?
just, I've been in the ring with, 10 world champions.
Right.
So they're all tough.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying, literally, I was really, UFC 10, third fight of the night, my hands were the only thing on my body hurting. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. You ain't
My hands were killing me, man. If I wanted,
that.
I wasn't going to wear the gloves. Thankfully, I listened to somebody for once. My coach, he begged me to leave the gloves on. After the first fight, it only lasted 2 minutes, but I came back and said, these gloves are getting in the way.
Yeah.
He's like, you got to keep them on. Luckily, I did because I fought Gary Goodrich the second fight, and that dude's head's hard. I had to hit him about 50 times before he threw it in. But then, oh, man, we got to the finals, and it was just ground and pound for 11 minutes, 40-some seconds. And I'm looking at this dude's eyes, and they're pretty much swelled shut. And I'm just like, gosh damn, this is crazy what I get myself into. Because I was getting tired. It was a lot of work. 11 minutes, so I was getting tired, and I was kind of like thinking, man, this dude, maybe he's going to reverse the situation on me, you know what I mean? But he was, he was on his back defending himself still. I'm throwing headbutts right in his face, bam, just solid headbutts, legal. Boom, smashing him. And it got to the point where his hands started, they were up here defending, then they were getting down here, and it got to the point where I'm looking out the corner of my eye at Big John saying, well, you going to stop this thing or what? And then all of a sudden, okay, bam, just throw another headbutt. And then finally Big John stopped it. But, ooh, man, he was tough. Fry's tough. You've seen his fight with Takayama. That was legendary.
Did you realize at the time when you first were getting into this that you were a pioneer? Did you realize your style was going to be copied till the end of time, basically? Because when I see everybody today, those elements come from you.
Well, I knew wrestlers were bad. We always carried a chip on our shoulder. I don't care if you got a 118-pounder or a heavyweight. They all thought they were, put a couple beers in them, and we all thought we were big guys, But tough. I knew wrestling. We were always jealous because there was a karate school in the corner of every freaking street, and we kind of knew that karate gonna work, But they were getting all the attention, this and that, but. I like the ground and pound. I don't like the lay and pray. So a lot of wrestlers came in there, and it just wasn't for them. I made it look so easy that everybody and their mother thought they could do it. Well, as we find out, a lot of wrestlers can. A lot of them can't.
Would I be out of line to say that you were on HGH or steroids at some point in your career?
You're out of line. I can't believe you just asked me that.
I'm getting out of here.
Really? Hey, listen.
I'm going.
If you want to be, you got to take care of him first.
No. Was the lifestyle like being a rock star in some ways? I mean, I'm sure the temptations behind the scenes had to be ridiculous for you.
Hey, coming from the wrestling background, we never got a dime. We never got any fans. The only fans were there was your mom and dad. Wrestlers just didn't get nothing. We was doing it to be the best, man. Get that gold, that fake gold medal. It ain't even gold. It's fake. We were doing it to be the best. So going from that to they're strapping a belt on me, handing me a 60 grand check, and everybody screaming praise. The cops didn't come. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty, yeah, I liked it. I ain't gonna lie, I liked it. I wanted, my goal was to be the best in the world at something. I didn't quite make it in wrestling. I took second in the world, but it just left me a little bit empty-handed, and then I got my chance to be the best in the world at something with MMA, and yeah, I mean, that was my dream.
So needless to say, it's all worth it, right?
Hell yeah.
You
100%.
saw, Severin and Shamrock work for Vince. I'm just curious. Were you ever contacted by Vince?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? How come
I
we never
blew
saw
it.
you? You blew it.
Yeah,
okay.
they knew I was a bad seed. I was.
Did you get to go to the office at least? I mean, did you meet Vince?
Never met Vince, but I met.
What, Triple H?
No, I met a lot of the pro wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all of them. Steiner was one of my favorite. We were
Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner.
I don't think he was in too good with them back then.
Well, what happened is they hired Shamrock first, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then they hired Severn.
Right.
And then they hired Tank Abbott.
Right.
Well, 2 flops, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Severn didn't get over, did he?
No. Not
Severn didn't get over, and Tank Abbott was so bad.
Right.
They paid him a 3-year guaranteed contract. He didn't have to do nothing.
It was rough. Yeah.
But I was kind of next in line because I was the champion. I was kind of next in line, and I'm pretty sure I would have killed it. I mean, I would have. I think I was pretty good over in Japan. I mean, got the big pops. You know what I mean? But no. Just rumors about me liking to drink some booze too much and stuff like that. They seen me as and I did go to one of the shows, all drunked up, and so I kind of, like I said, I blew it.
Where's Vince?
They didn't give me I didn't get my chance, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure I would have killed it.
Right.
I wanted to wrestle Kurt Angle so bad.
God, that would have been hot.
I don't know why it didn't happen in Japan. We could have did it over Japan. We would have went 25 minutes, and we would have beat the hell out of each other.